4 University of Idaho students were fatally stabbed at their Moscow, Idaho off-campus house in the early hours of November 13, 2022. Bryan Christopher Kohberger, age 28, was arrested in Monroe County, Pennsylvania on December 30th on 4 charges of first-degree murder and felony burglary. In today's video, we are going to update you on new news in the Idaho 4 case and show you some of the rumors and theories we found on the internet. If you are new to the case, please watch our previous video, Idaho 4, What You Need to Know. Let's look at the alleged killer Bryan Kohberger first. Who is he? What motive did he have for killing the Idaho 4? And how his past and present behavior is making him look like he could have committed this brutal crime. Bryan Christopher Kohberger graduated from Pleasant Valley High School and DeSales University. He was born in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. Kohberger comes from a family of mental health professionals, and both of his older sisters are certified school counselors. From 2013 to 2014, he attended Monroe Career and Technical Institute in Bartonsville, Pennsylvania, but dropped out of school without finishing the course. Beginning in high school, Kohberger fought an addiction to heroin, but by 2017, he was sober. He received an associate's degree in psychology from Northampton Community College in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania in 2018. In 2020, he received his bachelor's degree from DeSales University, where he studied under forensic psychologist Katherine Ramsland, the author of The Mind of a Murderer, The Psychology of Death Investigations, How to Catch a Killer, and 65 other crime-related works. Broadheadsville's Pleasant Valley School District hired him as a security guard in 2021. In May of 2022, a Reddit user posting under his name asked for information for a research project that seeks to understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime. DeSales University awarded him a master's degree in criminal justice in June 2022. In August of 2022, he started his doctoral studies in the criminal justice program at Washington State University's Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology in Pullman, Washington, USA, across the state line from the University of Idaho in Moscow, Idaho, USA. Throughout the semester, he also served as a teaching assistant for a criminal law course. Kohberger's life seems to be pretty normal when hearing what we've just told you, but being thrust into the spotlight has opened a closet filled with skeletons of Kohberger's bizarre behavior and state of mind. Kohberger's online presence. Once something is on the net, it's always on the net. This quote rings true for Kohberger's internet footprint and will most likely be used by the prosecution while trying to establish his mindset. In 2010, Kohberger published a series of comments on the website Tapatalk in a community for individuals with visual snow syndrome, a rare neurological disorder that alters the way the brain and eyes perceive visual information. People with the condition see a multitude of flicking dots, similar to snow or static. A podcast research team discovered the posts and traced them to Kohberger using his email address and other information. The photo looks to be a side-by-side of Bryan. The username is an email that he used as well as his rapper name, and he confirms his own birthday and a relative's address as well as living in Pennsylvania, the host of the podcast said. Everything matches up to look like this is Bryan Kohberger writing as a 16-year-old boy, she continued. A July 2011 post attributed to Kohberger states that he has been experiencing quote-unquote horrible depersonalization and that he believes demons in his brain are quote-unquote mocking him. As I hug my family, I look into their faces. I see nothing. It is like I am looking at a video game, but less. I feel less than mentally damaged. It is like I have severe brain damage. I am stuck in the depths of my mind, where I have to constantly battle my demons. Am I here or am I fake? It reads. Another post from that year describes suffering depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts in addition to quote-unquote delusions of grandeur, crazy ideas, and no emotion. Kohberger may also have frequented internet chat rooms to discuss some of the grisly murders details with internet researchers. According to retired FBI agent Jennifer Coffindaffer, Kohberger may have been the person or individuals making claims about the quadruple murder case using the Facebook and Redditor identities Papa Roger and Inside Looking, respectively. Coffindaffer, who was monitoring both accounts, claims that many of the allegations made by the person turned out to be true. leading her to believe it may have been Kohberger using aliases on the social media boards. Before authorities made these details public, the individual in two of the comments provided an exact timeline for the murders and described the knife sheath found at the crime scene. One accurate message read, "Committed murders and exited sliding door. One knife according to coroner's statement. Time of murder approximately 3:20 a.m. to 3:40 a.m. according to car fleeing scene and on camera on Highway 8 approximately 3:45 a.m. Vehicle left skid marks upon exit." In another post containing factual information, the user wrote, "Of the evidence released, the murder weapon has been consistent as a large, fixed blade knife. This leads me to believe they found the sheath." Other chat group members were so alarmed that they accused the individual of speaking quote-unquote like a serial killer. Kohberger's most bizarre online post is his Twitter and Reddit accounts, advertisements looking for volunteers for a research project that seeks to understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime. New evidence has been unearthed stating that Kohberger may have been stalking his victims, making it a premeditated crime. Reports from unnamed sources close to investigators are saying that Kohberger may have stalked the victims for weeks before the murders. Mobile phone data reveals that, before he allegedly slashed the three sorority sisters and one of their boyfriends to death, Kohberger was often in the same area and very close to the victims. Before the incident, Kohberger reportedly followed three of the victims on Instagram. He slid into one of the girls' DMs several times, but she didn't respond, an unnamed investigator told news outlets. Basically, it was just him saying, "Hey, how are you?" But he did it again and again. According to reports, he sent the first message in late October, followed up by many follow-ups when he did not get a response. Cell phone records also show that the criminology student visited the crime scene 12 times over a period of several months, with the most recent occurring in the morning after the murders, according to the arrest affidavit. This case has sparked massive interest within the armchair detective community on Reddit, with varying opinions being aired on various subjects pertaining to the case. One poll titled, "Based on the current evidence, if BK is convicted for all four murders, I believe he did it because of," shows an overwhelming consensus that Kohberger killed for the thrill aspect, and due to his degrees in criminology, thought he could get away with the murders. The subject of numerology has even popped up on Reddit forums. Were these murders Kohberger's first? Or did the date of the murders somehow tie him to other unsolved murders and knife attacks? Our Idaho Murders, a community on the Reddit app, has proposed a theory that the Idaho murders and several other stabbings all occurred on the 13th day of the month. This theory was posted by user sleuth58273, and even though it seems strange and unlikely, nothing can be ruled out. This Our Idaho Murders subreddit is home to more than 17,000 members who publish many hypotheses, observations, and views about this case. sleuth58273 posted the date-related idea. "So, I was reading up on similar cases and there's several that have similarities to the Idaho case. A couple stabbed in Oregon, 13th of August, 2021, late at night by unknown male. The woman survived. Resident in Illinois stabbed in their sleep, happened before 3 a.m., June the 13th, 2021. The person survived. An older woman stabbed to death at her home in Washougal, Washington. Her body was found on June 14th, 2020. With all this evidence stacked against Kohberger, one piece of forensic evidence might just be a quote-unquote home run, as one expert put it, for the prosecution. In 1998, Elizabeth Ballard's remains were discovered in a small grave in a New Mexico desert. Her killers were meticulous in their cleanup and cover-up efforts, from the room in which she was murdered to the trunk in which her corpse was transported. What they did not take into consideration was dog hair. One such hair was found on Ballard's sock and submitted to a California laboratory renowned for its forensic animal DNA breakthroughs. They were then able to connect the hair to a pit bull mix named Hercules belonging to one of Ballard's murderers. History might just be repeating itself in the Idaho 4 case. According to the now unsealed search warrant, Washington State University police seized 2 cuttings from an uncased pillow, reddish-brown stain, one quote-unquote nitrite-type black glove, 8 possible hair strands, a possible animal hair strand, and other evidence including possible bloodstains, all of which were sent to a lab for analysis and could potentially link Kohberger to the crime scene. Dr. Michael Baden, a forensic specialist, has chimed in on a potential game changer for the prosecution. Dr. Baden hoped that the animal hair discovered in the apartment matched that of the dog found at the crime scene. Further, he believes that if this animal hair is discovered, the prosecution may be able to convict him. The officers discovered Gonsalves's dog in her bedroom when they responded to the 911 call. If they found one animal hair, and I've been involved with this in the past, which came from the dog that was at the scene, that's a home run for the prosecution, said Dr. Baden. The preliminary hearing has been scheduled for 9 a.m. on June 26th and is expected to take 5 days, per the judge's decision to grant the request of Kohberger's counsel to postpone it until late June. Does the prosecution have enough evidence to convict him? Do you think that his obsession with crime leads him to commit these murders? Or will his bizarre online footprint be used as a reason for an insanity plea? We would love to hear your views on this ongoing case, so please leave a comment in our comments section.